presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Now, Superman, mighty visitor from another world, who came to Earth when the planet Krypton was destroyed by quakes and explosions. Superman, who can bend steel in his bare hands, leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who walks about among human beings disguised as Clark Kent, news reporter for a great metropolitan paper. As our story opens today, Clark Kent is on his way through the city room of the Daily Planet toward the private office of editor Perry White. As he is about to knock, he realizes that Lois Lane has approached, apparently headed in the same direction.
Hello, Miss Lane.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kent.
Hey, you're looking great. Oh, what's new?
Ask me later after I've seen the old man.
White? Well, that's where I'm headed myself. He just called me.
He just called me, too. Say, what's the big idea?
Haven't you heard? Conference of Leaders of American Journalism.
Oh.
Well, here we go.
Come in. Oh, hello, Ken.
Oh, White.
You too, Lois. Fine. Come in. Close the door. Now, Lois, I am entirely too old to lose my sleep on account of any members of your family.
My family, Mr. White. Oh, you must mean Uncle Horace.
Right. I do mean Uncle Horace.
Look here. If this is a family row, Mr. White, maybe I'd better run along.
Now, you stay where you are, Ken. You're in this, too, or you will be.
Who's Uncle Horace, Miss Lane?
Uncle Horace is Dr. Horace Morton, one of our leading private meteorologists.
Our leading witch?
He's a scientist. He studies all about the weather.
He does more than that, Kent. He's probably the world's most accurate forecaster. His record of accuracy is simply amazing, and he won't tell us a word about it.
Secret system, eh?
Oh, Uncle Horace is just old and crotchety. He never reads the newspapers, and he doesn't like journalists. I know what you're leading up to, Mr. White. You want me to go out and get an interview from Uncle Horace on how he does it. But it just isn't any use.
Just the same, young lady, that's where you're going. You and Kent.
Oh, please, Mr. White, I hadn't seen him for years. I doubt if he even knows I exist.
All the more reason for calling on him. Charming niece, doting uncle, show him what is miss. Now, seriously, Lois, it's got to be done. If I'm right, there's a red-hot story.
All right, Mr. White. I'll try. But you know...
Never mind the buts. That's your assignment from now until further orders. You understand, Kent?
Now, look, Mr. White, bring me up to date, will you? Where is this this distinguished old scientist, and what does he really do?
Well, I can answer the first part of that, Mr. Kent. He lives on top of Music Mountain, outside of New Birmingham.
Just like a murder mystery, Kent. All alone by himself, except for Elmer Rogers.
Oh, who's Elmer?
Assistant, handyman, secretary, chauffeur, grass cutter, comet catcher.
All right. Now, what about Dr. Morton? What's the real setup?
Kent, it's amazing. No one can explain it. But Dr. Morton's weather predictions over the past year have been practically 100% correct.
Well, how do you know he isn't just lucky, Mr. White?
Don't run down your family, Lois. Accuracy like that isn't luck. Matter of fact, he's admitted that much himself.
Oh, he has, eh?
But that's all. He won't say another word. And it's important. If some definite workable system exists for really forecasting the weather, it's got to be known. Why, confound it, the man doesn't realize what he's holding back. Apparently, he can't see what it might mean to human beings all over the world. And that's what I want you to point out to him.
Well, marching orders, Miss Lane. When do we start?
Right away. Motor to New Birmingham. Go from there to Music Mountain. Oh, come, Lois. Don't look so sour.
Oh, I'm not sour. Just resigned. Come on, Mr. Kent. Even if nothing else happens, they say the view from Music Mountain is lovely.
You get more than the view or don't come back. And, oh, yes, give my regards to Uncle Horace.
Good grief, Mr. Kent. Did you ever see it rain harder in your life?
Well, to put it in words of one syllable, no.
Where in the world did it come from? Just a little while ago, it was perfectly clear. And the weather report on the radio said it was going to remain clear.
Wonder what Uncle Horace's weather forecast was. Well, if we have any luck, it won't be long till we know.
Say, where are we?
Outside of New Birmingham. Say, look at that rain, will you? It seems to be getting worse. Now, I'm going to pull up a bit till this stops. I only hope it keeps up.
You only hope it keeps up. Why?
Haven't you heard? If it keeps up, it can't come down.
Oh, just one more like that, Clark Kent.
I know. You'll walk home. Hey, look, someone's coming.
Yeah, with his headlights on. And coming fast.
I'll switch my lights on, too. I don't want him to hit us.
Wait, they're stopping. Look, they jumped out of the car. They're running this way.
In all this rain. What the dickens are you supposed...
Get out of this car. Come on, make it fast.
Hey, what's the big idea? Who do you think you are?
Come on. I got no time for back talk. Get out of the car.
See, you...
Mr. Kent, look out. He has a gun.
We want this car. Come on.
Mr. Kent, do as he says. Don't argue.
Come on, you heard me. Make it fast. Come on. Okay, babe. Come
Wait,
on.
don't make him angry. Let him have her car if they want it. Look, they're turning around. Mr. Kent, what do you think it is?
I think it's some kind of a getaway, Miss Lane. They're one jump ahead of the police, and they think they can break up their trail by switching cars. Let's get in their car, quick.
What are you going to do?
I knew it. They've taken the keys. You stay in here and keep dry, Lois.
Well, you get in here, too. Mr. Kent, wait.
You'll be all right. I'm going to beat it back to the nearest phone. Now wait right where you are until I get back. Now then, thank heavens for the storm and the fog. She can't see me changing to Superman. Back to the nearest phone, eh? I think not. I'll settle with those birds myself. Up we go. Up and away. I don't know what's happened, what they've done, but they're outside the law, that's plain enough. And they've stolen our car. They won't get away with it. Too bad if I have to smash it up. There they are. Going like the devil, too. Down, down. I'll drop down in the road ahead of them and make them stop. Now then. Here they come. 70 miles an hour. Oh, so you won't stop, eh? We'll see about that. See how you like hitting a Superman. Here they are. Now. Bounce right off me to the ditch. Got to catch them before they come up to run. Don't try to run. There we are.
Get away. Get away. Quick, babe. Beat it.
Beat it, eh? Not this time. And don't pull that gun. Here come the police. Just to make sure they find you when they get here. That does it. He's out but not hurt. Here comes the law. Got to get back to Lois. Up we go. Up, up. Afraid our car's wrecked for keeps. Too bad. Well, we'll get the police to take us back to town. Then we'll get another car and head for Music Mountain.
Late the following evening, Kent and Lois Lane in another car ascend the dark and winding road up Music Mountain.
Boy, some road, I'll say. Wonder how your uncle ever gets down to civilization.
Huh? What?
I say, I wonder how your Uncle Horace gets down to town for his beans and bacon.
Oh.
What's the matter? Not sick, are you?
Oh, no, I'm all right.
You've been awfully quiet lately. Sure you feel all right?
Certainly I'm all right. Say, aren't we almost there?
Well, we're almost up the mountain. I suppose the road ends at the observatory. Yes, there it is. Through the trees ahead.
Oh, yeah. I guess that must be it. Mr. Kent, look, wait a minute.
What?
Stop the car. I want to talk to you before we get there.
Well, sure, but what's the idea?
Mr. Kent, I've been thinking. There's something I ought to show you.
Something you ought to show me? What are you talking about?
Look, this piece of paper. I found it in the car. You know, the bandit car.
Well, what is it? Let me see it.
There's writing on it. Read what it says.
Switch on that dash light, will you? Thanks. All set. Professor promises storm at 3:30. Be ready to go when it hits. Say, that's mighty queer, Lois. You say you found this in the car?
Yeah, after you went looking for the police.
They said those fellas had pulled a payroll holdup and made their getaway in the thunderstorm.
Mr. Kent, would that mean Uncle Horace?
Great Scott.
Oh, if it did. Oh, no, I can't believe it.
Oh, of course not. No, you've got it all wrong.
No, but Mr. Kent, what else can it mean? Professor promises storm at 3:30, and it was just before 4 when we met them on the road and they took our car. Mr. Kent, you don't think there's a connection between Uncle Horace and those payroll bandits, do you?
Come on, Miss Lane. There's the observatory. Now, you let me take that paper and just forget about it. Come on.
Gee, Mr. Kent, it's all dark. There's no light anywhere. It's so gloomy. The whole place is gloomy. So worried and afraid.
Now, here, pull yourself together. What are you afraid of?
I don't know. I just have a feeling something's wrong. Something's happened.
Oh, nonsense. Here we are. I'll knock.
Listen, is anyone coming?
Don't think so. Yes, there is, too. Yeah, he's right back at the door.
Who's that? Who's there?
Uncle Horace? Is that you?
Uncle Horace. Are you looking for Dr. Morton?
Why, it's Rogers. Rogers, don't you remember me? Lois Lane? It's years since you've seen me, but I do think
Lois
you might...
Lane. Oh, Miss Lois, thank heavens you come. Come inside, quickly, before he hears you and comes down.
Oh, what's the matter?
Inside, while I close the door. Go. Miss Lane, Miss Lois, you don't know what it means to see somebody I can talk to.
Why, Rogers, what's the matter? You sound absolutely terrified.
Terrified? Wait while I tell you. Oh, Miss Lois...
Someone's coming. Down those stairs.
It's him. He heard you knock. I can't tell you now. He's coming. Now, don't say a word. Remember, not a word. Not one word. Hello, Morton Observatory.
Hello, who's this? Rogers?
Yes.
This is Mr. Collins.
Oh, yes, Mr. Collins.
Dr. Morton there?
Why, he has visitors just now, sir. Is there something I could do?
Visitors? What visitors?
His niece, Miss Lane, and a young gentleman named Kent, a newspaper man.
Newspaper man? Morton's not giving out any interviews, is he?
Oh, no, sir. He hasn't yet. Of course, I don't know. Miss Lane works on the same paper.
No interviews, Rogers. Make sure Morton understands. Syndicate can't afford to have any news get out right now.
Well, I'm sure Dr. Morton understands that, Mr. Collins.
All right, never mind that now. What I really called about was the forecast. You're absolutely sure?
Yes, sir. So far as I know.
Fog and hail in New Birmingham at approximately 10:45 tonight. Is that right?
That's what Dr. Morton says.
What's the time now?
Just 10:30.
Please remind Dr. Morton that the syndicate is checking all this very carefully. If there's a slip-up, they probably won't want to go on with it.
He hasn't failed yet, sir.
I've just checked the weather station. They swear that it'll be clear with rising temperatures.
Fog and hail, that's what Dr. Morton said, sir. But I'm a little worried.
Worried at what, Rogers?
At what happens at these demonstrations, Mr. Collins. For example, the thunderstorm yesterday afternoon.
What about it?
There was a holdup, a payroll robbery.
Pure coincidence.
Then the hailstorm last week at Northwood. Right in the middle of it, a jewelry store on Main Street was robbed in broad daylight.
Forget it, Rogers.
But I can't forget it, Mr. Collins. It almost looks as if someone knew what was going to happen. As if they used Dr. Morton's demonstrations to...
I said forget it. You know what depends on this, Rogers. If Morton can prove what he says, the syndicate will back him to the hilt. If not, well, it's all over.
Just the same, Mr. Collins, I don't like it. If anything happens tonight...
Well, what about it? If something does happen tonight, what do you do?
I shall go straight to Dr. Morton and tell him what I think. That he's being used. Improperly used.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, Rogers. I really wouldn't.
Wouldn't you?
No, not for a minute. Now, just stop and think. If he's being used, if a gang is pulling off this stuff and you went and stopped it, well, just consider what your life would be worth.
Good heavens. You think they'd...
I think you probably run a terrible risk, Rogers. I really do. What's the time now?
Why, 10:35.
10 minutes to go. I hope Dr. Morton's prediction is correct.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sure it is, sir.
Very well. That's all, Rogers. Only remember what I said. Good night.
10:35. 10:40. Meanwhile, in the main room of the observatory, Dr. Horace Morton entertains his guests. Lois Lane, his niece, and Clark Kent.
Oh, please, Uncle Horace, you wouldn't want us to have made the trip just for nothing, now, would you?
My dear Lois, a great part of my time in the past few months has been given over to foiling the designs of newspaper people.
Oh, Mr. Kent, isn't he dreadful? See what you can do.
Oh, really, Dr. Morton? You've done such wonders in meteorology, forecasting the weather so accurately. I give you my word, they're talking about it everywhere.
And now, flattery. No, my boy, it's no use. No use whatever. When I get ready to describe my work, I'll do so in detail, and not before.
Uncle Horace, have you some secret system?
Oh, possibly.
The best weather bureaus in the world are only about 85% accurate, Doctor. You're right 95% of the time.
95, my dear boy. I'm 100% accurate.
Well, how in the world do you do it?
Oh, Mr. Kent, isn't it exciting? You do it with all those wheels and machines and instruments, Uncle Horace?
Certainly different from any observatory I was ever in.
I won't answer questions, but I might give a demonstration.
Really, Uncle Horace?
Morton's mystical meteorology Also fortunes in tea leaves. What's the weather doing outside at the moment, Mr. Kent?
I'd say it was clear and cool.
Well, clear and cool.
Uncle Horace, what are you doing?
Adjusting the instruments, my dear. Don't come too close. Part of the Morton system is a free use of electricity.
Electricity?
Good heavens. Well, what a weird light. What's that for, Uncle? And what are you doing with those levers?
Directing the mechanical calculators. Please stand where you are, Mr. Kent.
Oh, don't worry. I'm too interested to move even if I wanted to.
Uncle Horace, what happens now?
Well, first of all, we might check. See what my colleagues and rivals have to say. There's a telephone extension there on the table, Mr. Kent. Call this number and get the latest weather reports.
All right.
West and southwesterly southwest wind. Tonight clear and cool. Tomorrow fair.
Well, clear and cool.
Dear. Now, let's see what the Morton system says. I think we have enough to go on by now.
Can you make out what he's doing?
Not very well. He's looking into some kind of a glass thing on the table. Might be a camera.
I think what do you want a camera for?
Most interesting. And once again, I fear the usually respected authorities are wrong. Dear me, yes, quite wrong.
Well, what is the weather going to be, Uncle Horace?
Fog and hail, my dear. And almost at once. Thick fog and rather severe hail. Now, if you'll excuse me for a few minutes.
Oh, why, surely, sir. We'll be all right.
Oh, don't let us bother you, Uncle Horace.
I shan't be long. Possibly you'd like to go out on the balcony, through the French doors there. If you want anything, ring for Roger.
All right. Come on, Miss Lane. Let's do a little observing ourselves out on the balcony.
Whew, clear and cool. Well, it's cool enough. Mr. Kent, what do you make of it?
I'm darned if I know. But I'll tell you this. Something awfully funny going on around here.
What do you mean?
I don't know. But all that machinery and the electricity.
Oh, that's for the weather forecasting. He said so himself.
Oh, bunk. Don't you believe it. I've been in weather bureaus before, and I never saw anything like that. They use barometers and wind speed indicators and charts and stuff like that.
He made a forecast. If he didn't use the machinery, how did he do it?
Yeah, that's what gets me. As far as I could see, he didn't do a thing. He just grabbed it out of the air. And, of course, you realize he was laughing at us all the time.
Yeah, he certainly was having a whole lot of fun.
And if you ask me, he didn't make a forecast at all. He just said so to throw us off.
He's a queer person, Mr. Kent. Cold and clammy. Why, what's happened? Look, you can't see the stars anymore. What is it?
Well, for the... Great Scott, it's fog. A thick bank of fog has just drifted right down on top of us.
Fog? Why, that's just what he said. Ow!
What's the matter?
Something hit me on the head. Oh, there it is again.
Hey, something hit me, too. Miss Lane, it's hailstones. Hailstones as big as marbles.
Mr. Kent, fog and hail. It's just what he said. Then he was doing something with all that machinery.
Well, I guess he was, all right. He certainly did make a bang-up forecast. Ow. Here, let's get inside before we get brained.
Okay.
Come on.
I'll close the window.
All right. Well, I'll say this much, Miss Lane. Your old Uncle Horace is right on the ball, all right. He sure called the turn.
Gee, how popular he must be with the regular weather people.
Boy, and how. Calls them up, gets their report, and then makes monkeys out of them.
Just look at that storm. And it came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So suddenly. Oh, isn't that lightning?
Yeah, there's the thunder. Well, you usually get thunder and lightning with hail.
Mr. Kent, just look at that. Out through the window. Those hailstones are almost big enough to break the glass.
Yeah, and the fog. Hey, you can't see your hand before your face. Well, even if we don't smoke out the secret of what your uncle's doing, Miss Lane, we'll have a swell eyewitness story. White'll love us.
Oh, what was that? It sounded like a shot.
That's what I thought myself. Wait, you stay here.
Where are you going?
I'm going to see if anything's happened. I'm going to find Dr. Morton.
Well, call to him. Uncle Horace.
Dr. Morton.
Uncle Horace.
Dr. Morton. Oh, it's no use. Whoever he is, he doesn't hear us.
I'm coming with you, Mr. Kent.
All right, come on. Where did you think that noise came from? Inside or outside?
Inside. Come on, down these stairs.
It's not the way your uncle went. Come on, we're probably on a wild goose chase.
Oh, wait. Wait, don't get too far ahead of me.
All right.
Mr. Kent, what's the matter? What are you looking at?
Miss Lane. Wait. Don't come down here. Go back. Go back upstairs.
Well, say, what's the idea? If there's any excitement, I want to be in on it.
No, Miss Lane. Go back, please.
Clark Kent, what's the matter with you?
I told you not to come down. I told you.
Who is it? What's happened? Oh, quick, let's do something.
No use. It's Rogers. Elmer Rogers.
Is he?
Yes. He is. Shot dead from close range. And there's the gun that did it. But why? Answer me that. And another thing. Now we'll never know what he wanted to tell us when we came in.
Mr. Kent, listen, that hailstorm is still going on.
Never mind the hailstorm, Miss Lane. I told you not to come down here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be all right. It's just so sudden. Rogers shot. Who do you think did it and why?
Can't tell you that, Miss Lane. But I can tell you how. There's the gun. See? There under the bench. Don't touch it.
I won't. What are we going to do?
Nothing for the moment. One of the first things I'd like to know is... Listen, isn't that someone coming?
Yes, down the stairs.
Must be your uncle.
Uncle Horace! Uncle Horace!
Horace, my dear, where are you? I declare, I was afraid you'd run off.
We're down here, Dr. Morton. Something's happened. Please be ready for a shock.
A shock, my boy? What are you talking about? Good heavens.
Oh, Uncle Horace.
Why, Kent, what's happened? What's the matter with Rogers?
I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Rogers has been shot. Killed.
Killed? Elmer Rogers? Why, that's not possible. It can't be. Great heavens. How did he do it?
How did he do it? Uncle Horace, you mean you think he did it himself?
My dear Lois, what else? Yes, and there's the gun he used to do it with, too. See, right here.
Don't pick it up, Dr. Morton. Please, let it alone.
Don't pick it up? Nonsense, my boy. How am I going to look at it if I don't pick it up? Hey, look, see for yourself.
All right. Damage is done now.
What's he talking about? What damage?
Uncle, if there were fingerprints on the gun, you spoiled them by picking it up.
Fingerprints? Oh, bless my soul.
Clark, what are you going to do now?
Notify the police. That's all there is to do. And the quicker the better. Would you mind phoning them, Dr. Morton?
Police phone? Why, certainly.
Just tell them Mr. Rogers has been killed and ask them to get here as soon as they can.
But, look here, Kent. Must we have the police? Do you think it's really necessary?
Why, Uncle, of course it's necessary. Please hurry and telephone.
I'm sorry, Dr. Morton. There's no way out. The telephone's upstairs, isn't it?
All right. If you think it's the thing to do. Oh, poor Rogers. Poor fellow.
What do you make of that?
Mr. Kent, I don't understand it. He ought to be all broken up. Rogers has been with him for years, but he isn't broken up. He's quite calm.
Isn't he? I don't like to say it, Miss Lane, but he acts like a man who's trying to be broken up.
What do you mean?
I think you know. You and I, the doctor, and Elmer Rogers are the only 4 people on Music Mountain. That is, so far as we know. If Elmer Rogers was killed, one of us killed him.
Oh, no, Uncle Horace couldn't have done it.
Your uncle was out of the room when we heard the shot. Where was he and what was he doing? And he was pretty cute about picking up the gun, too.
What do you mean?
I mean, if there were 2 sets of prints on that gun, Rogers and somebody else's, and that somebody else happened to be Horace Morton, well, he's got a perfectly legitimate explanation now. The prints got on the gun when he picked it up.
Clark, it's not so. I don't believe it. And anyway, how do you know Rogers didn't do it himself? You remember how strangely he acted when we got here.
Not strangely. Frightened, Miss Lane. And frightened of what? Why did he stop talking? Because he saw Dr. Morton coming.
Here he comes again.
My dear Kent, most unfortunate. But we can't get the police. We can't get anyone.
Oh, what's the matter?
Apparently the storm has broken down the wires. Sharp but severe.
What? You mean the line's dead? You can't get the operator?
Believe me, I can't get a soul.
Mr. Kent, there's only one thing to do. You've got to get down the mountain to New Birmingham while Uncle Horace and I stay here at the observatory.
Leave you here?
You must. I don't mind. I'll be all right.
Oh, she's right, my boy. That is, if you feel you must go at all.
Go ahead, Mr. Kent. Take the car and go down and bring back the police. We'll stay right here while you're gone.
Well, all right. But don't take chances. Keep your eyes open, Miss Lane, and be careful.
Hurry, Mr. Kent. Uncle Horace will look after me, won't you, Uncle?
Bless my soul. Certainly, of course.
Very well, I'll go. Out this door right here. It leads to the road, doesn't it?
Yes. Where's your car?
Down around the turn. We walked the last few steps. Hello, the storm stopped. Still foggy, though, but the hail's gone.
Hurry. Hurry down and hurry back.
I hate to do it. She's probably safe enough. If he did kill Rogers, he wouldn't dare do anything to his own niece. That would pin it on him for keeps.
I think I can make better time to New Birmingham as Superman. Get down and back faster than they imagine.
All right, this ought to do it. Up we go. Up and faster. Faster. Down the mountain like a bullet. Out. Out and away.
Flashing through the night air, red tape streaming in the wind, Superman streaks down the mountain and out over the streets of New Birmingham, searching for police headquarters. But suddenly he sees lights, crowds, hears shouts, desperate calls, police lines fighting to keep back a frenzied mob. Down he sweeps, and down.
What's that? Looks like something's happened at the bank. And if I want police, this is where I'll find them. I'll duck down into that alley and come out again as Clark Kent. Down, down. There. Don't think anybody's seen me. What in thunder's going on? Well, I'll soon know. Just as quick as I can get hold of an officer. There's a police sergeant right now. Hey there, Sergeant! Sergeant!
Out of the way, young fella, out of the way. Can't stop now. Get back.
Officer, listen. There's been a murder up on Music Mountain. I've just come down.
Well, what's that?
I say there's been a murder on Music Mountain in Dr. Morton's observatory.
Well, who is it? Quick.
Morton's assistant, Elmer Rogers.
Wait, you say he's dead?
Shot through the heart.
Well, if he's dead, it'll have to wait now. If we don't work fast, there'll be 3 men dead right here in town.
Why, what's happened? I'm a reporter.
Oh, a reporter. Okay. Well, there was a devil of a big hailstorm, and right in the middle of it, a gang tapped the bank.
What? The gang held up the bank during that storm?
Yeah. They held up the bank, got away clean, and left 3 special officers in the vault, locked in with a time lock.
What? 3 men locked in a vault? Officer, how long have they been there?
I don't know. Maybe half an hour, maybe less. And they'll suffocate if they ain't out there pretty quick. And the time lock's set for tomorrow morning.
What?
We can't do a thing. We can't use dynamite. They'll die. Every last one of them.
Sergeant, that vault, where is it?
What's it to you? You can't do anything.
Where is it? I've got to know.
Right over yonder, under the main part of the bank. Hey, where are you going? Hey, what about that murder? Hey!
Can't stop now. This is more important. A bank holdup during that hailstorm, eh? I wonder if that had anything to do with what Rogers wanted to tell us. And that note Lois found. We'll have to go into that later. Right now, my job is getting into that vault. Back to that alley, quick. Dynamite may not be able to reach that vault, but I think Superman can. Here we are. Down, down. Now then, it ought to be right under here. 10 feet of earth, 3 feet of steel and concrete. Well, here goes.
Hidden in the darkness of the alley, Superman applies his terrific strength to tearing into the earth above the vault. Muscles of steel, hands and fingers like steel talons rip through earth and stone. Dust and debris rise in a whirling cloud, and suddenly, Superman finds himself at the face of the vault.
Now then, sheet steel and reinforced concrete. Now. Almost in. Oh, I can hear them gasping. Once more. Made it. Into the vault. There they are, out cold, dying from suffocation. The fresh air will fix that. Now what? Well, I could take them out the way I came in, of course. But there's a crowd in the bank. I think it would be simpler to knock the door of the vault out. All I have to do, really, is grab hold of the edges and... Locks are giving way. I bet they'll be surprised out there. Hope they have the sense to stand back. Here goes. Once more, and we do it.
Hey! What's happened? What's going on? Who's that guy? Where'd he come from? Hey!
Sorry, gentlemen. Can't stay. Got business elsewhere. Now, back the way I came in. Out to the alley. Out, and away! They'll talk about that forever, but they won't connect it with Clark Kent. That's all that matters. Now, back to the observatory and Lois. Up we go. Out of the alley. This does it. Away. Up, faster, and away.
Back up the mountain goes the winging shape, while in the streets of New Birmingham, stunned crowds sway and cluster about the bank, watching the prisoners in the vault come out as men rescued from the dead. Police organize for a hurried trip to Morton Observatory, but Superman is there far ahead of them, sweeping down out of the darkness to the doorway before the house.
There we are. Hope Lois is all right. Down we go. Down. Now, up to the door, and then back to Clark Kent. Miss Lane! Miss Lane, it's me. It's Clark Kent. I'm back. Open the door. That's peculiar. Great Scott, I hope... Why, the door isn't even locked. It's open. Where are they? Lois! Lois! Dr. Morton, where are you? Dr. Morton! Great heavens, they're not here. What could have happened? The place is empty, deserted. Lois! Lois Lane! Lois! Listen, Sergeant. During the storm, Miss Lane, she's Dr. Morton's niece, she and I were in the laboratory, up there at the head of the stairs.
Yeah?
Well, we heard a shot. And when we came down here to see what had happened, we found Elmer Rogers.
Shot?
Shot and killed. With a revolver that was lying near him on the floor.
Wait a minute. You say that you and Miss Lane... Where was Doc Morton?
He came in while we were bending over Rogers. He'd been out.
Out where?
I don't know.
Okay. Then what?
Well, I told him to telephone the police. But he came back after a while and said the wires were down. So I left him here with Miss Lane and hurried to New Birmingham myself. I told the police, then came right back. And here's what I want to tell you. There isn't a sign of either Miss Lane or Dr. Morton. They've simply vanished.
Huh? Well, where are they going?
Well, if I knew, I'd tell you.
Okay, we got to look around. Maybe they're hiding. You been over the place, upstairs and down?
Everywhere except the cellar, if there is one.
Okay, we'll take a look at it. Where's the door?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe through here. You want to take a look at Rogers on the way?
What do you say, Devlin?
Not much, Sarge. We got him all right. Shot from close by. We'll take the gun back and check it for print.
Wait a minute. What's this here? Where'd this dirt come from?
Oh, that's kind of gravel-like. He had it in his hand.
Had it in his hand? Well, what is it? Here, you take a look.
Where'd it come from? Looks like black dirt.
Yeah. You ever seen it before?
No, if he had it in his hand when Miss Lane and I looked at him, I guess we missed it.
If he had it in his hand. You don't think somebody put it in there later, do you? What's the matter?
Shh. Keep quiet.
Well, what's up? What do you hear?
Beyond that door, just behind you. Someone is coming up a flight of stairs.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Bless my soul.
Dr. Morton.
Morton? Are you Doc Morton?
Of course. You went to get the police, didn't you, Kent? You know, I'd completely forgotten.
Dr. Morton, where is Lois?
Lois?
Yes.
Dear me, isn't she upstairs in the laboratory? That's where I left her.
She is not in the laboratory.
No, then she's probably in bed. Sensible girl, too much excitement. People getting killed, calling police.
Dr. Morton, Lois is not in bed, as you know perfectly well. Where is she?
My dear Mr. Kent.
I left her here with you while I went to get the police. Now she's gone. Where is she?
I give you my word, I haven't the faintest idea.
Come on, Doc. What have you done with her?
What have I done with her?
What were you doing down in the cellar?
My dear Kent, your tone, I don't like it.
I don't care whether you like it or not. What were you doing down in that cellar?
Devlin, go down them stairs and see what you can find.
Okay, Sarge.
Now then, Doc, come on, speak up. Didn't expect us to get here so soon, did you? You thought you'd get away with it. Well, come on, let's have it.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
I want to know what you were doing down those cellar stairs.
Well, if you must, I have a small chemical laboratory. When Lois and I were left alone, I advised her to find a book. As I recall, I left her reading.
You left her. Where'd you go?
I remembered I'd been working on an experiment, a new step in the breakdown of pitch blende.
A what?
I doubt if you'd understand. You know the new Birmingham refinery?
The refinery?
Yes.
Sure, yes. What of it?
I have some acquaintance with the director, Mr. Milo Fales. At his request, I've been investigating the breakdown of pitch blende ores into radium.
Radium? You mean there's a radium refinery in New Birmingham?
Yeah, that part of it's straight enough, but the rest ain't. I don't believe a word of it. Come on now.
Wait a minute, Sergeant. I just thought of something. Where's that gravel? Here. Dr. Morton, look at this stuff. You know what it is?
Where did you get that, Mr. Kent?
It was in Rogers' hands when he was killed. What is it?
Pitch blende, Mr. Kent. The same very valuable pitch blende ore that I worked with alone in my cellar laboratory.
You mean he stole it?
It would seem so.
Okay, that's enough for me. Method, that there gun. Motive, on account of he stole the radium. Opportunity, when you sneaked out and left Kent and Miss Lane alone. You're coming with me, Doc.
And just what are you talking about, officer?
You heard me. You're coming down to jail, and you're coming now. Oh, yeah, Devil?
Ain't nothing down there, Sarge. Just a little room and a bench with a lot of bottles and stuff.
Wait. Any place to hide anything?
No, it ain't more than 12 feet square. Cut right out of the rock.
Get my coat, Devlin. All right, come along, Doc.
I protest. Most emphatically. This is an outrage. Monstrous. I shall complain.
Okay. Complain to the judge. But you're coming with me, and you're coming now. Hey, Devlin, you stay here and search the place.
Okay.
You too, Kent. We'll want you for a witness. I'll send the coroner up.
Sergeant, look. Tire tracks.
What?
Tire tracks, the car.
What are you talking about? What car?
Oh, forget it. I made a mistake.
Devlin, you get out after that girl. Search the house first, then the woods. If you don't find her, we'll be back with a posse. I'll see you later.
Come on back inside. You'll get soaked.
No, you go ahead. Search the house. I'll look around outside. I don't mind the rain.
Well, holler if you find anything.
Find anything? I should say I have. Good thing that sergeant didn't question me. I almost gave myself away. Calling attention to those tire tracks, I almost blurted out that Lois's car was gone. Then they'd start asking me what I used to get to town in. Let me look at those tracks. Down the road. Looks like a skid. It's traveling fast. Here, what's this? More tracks. There was another car here. Those aren't Lois's tire marks. Her car left in a hurry, and the second car went after it.
Well, I think it's time Superman took a hand and went after them both. Up we go. Up, and away.
Far ahead on the narrow, twisting mountain road, wet and treacherous, Lois Lane desperately urges her car to its highest speed. Behind her, a second car, long and black and low, relentlessly closes in. Suddenly, the silver glitter of water, a narrow bridge. The second car creeps up, while high overhead, Superman streaks through the stormy sky.
There it is. That's Lois's coupe. And she's driving it, but who's that chasing her? Great Scott, they're going at top speed, both of them. They're on the bridge. The second car's trying to pass. What? He's crowding Lois into the bridge. Gotta get into this. Down. They're forcing Lois over. Oh, she's crashed. She's going through the rail. She's in the lake. I'll have to let those other fellows go. Gotta get Lois down into that water. Faster.
Oh, what's happened? What was it?
Lois, Miss Lane, you're all right. Just take it easy.
Oh, Clark, Mr. Kent, the car. What happened?
You had a nasty spill. A car shoved you into the lake. Luckily, I got there in time to pull you out.
But where are we now?
It was the strangest thing in the world. Just as I pulled you out, this fellow came along in his truck, and he's giving us a lift into town.
Sure thing you know, mister. I'll have you up to that there hospital in no time.
Miss Lane, how do you feel?
I'm all right. But those men, where are they?
What men?
The ones that were chasing me. Oh, Mr. Kent, just after you left, 2 men came in a car. They were the ones who killed Rogers. I heard them. They didn't know I was there, but...
You heard them confess to the murder? Lois, Miss Lane, who were they?
Oh, I don't know. They were after Uncle Horace, but he was down in the cellar. He never even knew.
Well, then what he said was true. He didn't do it.
Do what?
Kill Rogers. The police thought your uncle murdered Rogers because he'd stolen some radium ore.
Oh, no. Poor Uncle Horace. Mr. Kent, it wasn't that at all. I heard the whole story. Those men, they were using him. They were criminals.
You mean... Great Scott, you mean they were committing crimes when they knew there were storms coming? Lois, Miss Lane, that explains everything.
Oh, it was more than that, Mr. Kent. Uncle Horace, he didn't just forecast when storms were coming. He made them.
What? But that's not possible.
Oh, but it is. I heard everything before they saw me. Uncle Horace made the storms. And he never knew what they were doing, but Rogers knew, and he said he'd tell, and that's why they killed him. Oh, Mr. Kent, Uncle Horace, where is he now?
He's in jail, but he won't be there long. Hey there. Never mind the hospital. Drive straight to the jail.
Jail?
Yes.
Okay, mister. Right near there now.
Good. But, Lois, there's something I don't understand. Why were these men after you?
Oh, they heard me, and I ran to the door and the car. I just got away, but they came after me. I drove as fast as I could to get to town and the police, but they came alongside on that bridge.
Oh, never mind. I know what happened after that. And boy, was it lucky. Oh, look, here we are. There's the jail. Police headquarters. What's happened? Look at that crowd.
Mr. Kent, what is it?
Hey, what's all the shooting for?
There's the man I want. Sergeant! Sergeant!
What the? Hey, Kent.
Yeah.
Where'd you come from? Say, don't tell me you got the lead, girl.
Sergeant, here she is, and she told me the whole story. Morton didn't commit that murder. We've got to get him out. Where is he?
Where is he? That's what I want to know myself. Doc Morton's gone.
Gone? Gone where?
What do you mean?
I mean he's been snatched, taken away. Listen, I got him down here and put him in a cell. Then came the biggest explosion you ever heard.
Explosion?
There was a gang after him. They broke into his cell, and now they got him. Kent, if you know anything at all, who are they? What's it all about? Who's got him? And what are they going to do next?
Where are we?
Right in the narrowest part of the valley. The radium plant's right there ahead. That's the gate.
Why, Mr. Kent, the radium plant's right against the steepest part of the mountain. It's right under it.
Exactly. So is that little settlement. Workers' houses, mostly. I tell you, Miss Lane, Music Mountain is actually moving. And if it comes down any further, well, there's going to be a real panic.
But I don't understand. What's doing it?
Here, look up. You see all that slope of loose rock? Well, it's moving, that's all. It's on the way down.
Yes, but why?
Search me. Maybe it's because of all that rain. Got things loosened up. Say, look. They're beginning to get people moved out already. Look at those trucks. And isn't that a big busload of kids there?
Oh, Clark, those poor people. They must be frantic.
I guess they are, all right. They're in a mighty dangerous spot. Well, we've got to get going.
Who's this man we're going to see?
Milo Fales. He's the acting head of the radium refinery.
Oh, I didn't know they found radium down here.
Well, they don't. But they send the pitch blende ore down here to be refined. Remember what your uncle said that night they arrested him?
I wasn't there.
He said he'd been doing some work for Fales, trying to find a simpler refining process. And I just happened to remember it myself.
What do you mean?
Well, Lois, we've tried everything, and we've come up against a blank wall. Not a single lead. Your uncle's just vanished. Well, this is our last chance. Fales may know something or remember something. Let's go down and have a talk with him. It's worth a try.
Don't go there. Don't do that way.
Say, I beg your pardon.
What? Keep out of the way, please.
Mr. Kent, what's it all about? This place is like a madhouse.
We're moving, young lady. Got to get this whole plant cleaned out and packed into trucks before that mountain comes down on top of us. So if you don't mind...
Well, I'm looking for Mr. Fales, Milo Fales.
I'm Fales. What's on your mind? Only make it fast.
Mr. Fales, I'm Clark Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet.
Sorry, no time for the papers. You have to excuse me. Hey, Mike. Mike, not that one. Get the cases packed up first.
Mr. Fales, we don't want an interview.
Right.
This lady is Miss Lane, Lois Lane, and she's a niece of Dr. Horace Morton.
What's that? Niece of Morton.
We don't want to bother you, Mr. Fales, but if you could tell us anything...
Here, come in my office. So much noise out here, you can't hear yourself think. Now then, how much do you know?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Fales, we don't know anything.
Absolutely not a thing. And we can't find out anything.
What made you come here?
Because on the last night we saw Dr. Morton, the night he was brought down to New Birmingham, he said he was working on a pitch blende process connected with a radium refinery. And he said he was doing it for you.
Oh, I see. That's the way it is, eh?
Mr. Kent just remembered it, Mr. Fales, and he thought, rather he hoped, you might possibly be able to shed a little light on what's happened to my uncle.
I know it's just a shot in the dark, but believe me, we've tried everything else.
That's what brings you here, eh? Well, all I can say is I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't tell us a thing?
Miss Lane, I only wish I could. You say you haven't any idea at all where your uncle is?
No, Mr. Fales, I don't even know if he's alive.
Oh, yes, he's alive. I mean, he must be.
But you don't know anything more about him?
Mr. Kent, that was the name, wasn't it?
Yes.
My connection with Dr. Morton was really nothing more than casual. Less than that. He was interested in chemistry, and he thought he might be able to help us.
Help you how, Mr. Fales?
Well, we refine radium. Very difficult process. Over 35 different steps. And Dr. Morton thought he might be able to find a simpler process.
Radium? That's very valuable, isn't it?
Valuable? Look here, young lady. Just look out this window. You see those trucks?
Yes. What about them?
They're piled with pitch blende ore, about a quarter refined. Can you imagine what that stuff is worth, just as it is?
The pitch blende ore as it stands on the trucks?
As it stands on the trucks, 25 tons of it. Mr. Kent, that stuff is worth, refined down, as it is right now, about $30,000 a ton.
Great Scott.
Maybe you see now why we're breaking our necks to get it out, before that mountain comes down and buries the whole works.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Fales, you go right on about whatever you were doing.
Miss Lane, if I could do anything to help you find your uncle, I'd talk all day. But I can't, and I can only say I'm sorry. Hello. Dale speaking. Yes? Yes, I know. Well, it isn't raining now, is it? All right. All right, I know. Just as fast as we can. Well, I can't work miracles. Keep your eye on it. Let me know. That's our engineer up on the mountain. He says there's not much time. So it's set to come sliding down some more.
Oh, Mr. Fales, what's doing it? What is
Miss
it?
Lane, you can lay it all to the weather. The more it rains, the faster Music Mountain slides. Right now, it's only 50 feet from our rear wall.
How fast is it coming now?
So far, about 20 feet a day. But if it rains much more...
But it isn't raining now.
No, not here. But up on the mountain, it's raining cats and dogs.
Oh, those poor people in the settlement. What'll happen to them?
Nothing, if they keep moving. If they stay where they are, well...
Oh, it's dreadful, Mr. Kent. Isn't there anything we can do?
Well, Miss Lane, we're newspaper people. All we can do is write it up.
Well, I'm going to help them. I don't care. If you think I can just sit back and write about it, you'll... Mr. Fales, thank you so much.
Thanks for nothing, eh? Sorry, Miss Lane. Oh, you can go out quicker by that side door. I'm going to stay here a minute. Joe! Joe, make it fast. Get that stuff loaded, ready to go. Go on, move now.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Lane. I thought maybe we'd get a lead on your uncle.
Well, it wasn't your fault we didn't. Come on, I do want to see what's happening to the poor people who are trying to move.
Out of this door, he said. Golly, look at those trucks. That stuff's really worth what he said. Great Scott, Miss Lane, do you realize its value? Over $750,000.
What? That black stuff?
Right there in front of you. See, if anything happened to it...
Well, what's the matter? Why are you standing there like that? Mr. Kent.
Lois. Miss Lane, did it seem to you that Mr. Fales, the manager... well, did it strike you that he was worried when we first came in?
Worried?
Yes.
Well, of course he was worried. If the mountain comes down, it'll ruin his refinery.
No, I didn't mean that. He was worried about us. And then later on, he seemed to think everything was all right.
Worried about us? What do you mean?
I don't know. It just flashed on me. Look, will you? Look at those women.
Oh, those poor things. Mr. Kent, I'm going down to help them. Come on.
No, you go on. I'll stay here a minute. I want to think. Go ahead.
Well, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Just stand right here. You go on. I'll join you in a minute. I just want to work something out.
Clark Kent, I believe you're losing your mind. You're acting perfectly mad.
No, go on. Go ahead, please, Miss Lane. See if you can't give those folks a lift. Look at the kids running around in circles.
Poor youngsters. Well, call me when you're ready to drive back for supper.
All right. Thank heaven she left. Didn't think she'd do it.
No, I didn't just think of something, Miss Lane. I heard something with Superman's sensitive hearing. I heard voices. Voices traveling over telephone wires. Wait a minute. There they are. They come right out of the brick wall. They're the wires leading from Fales' office. He's still talking. And I'm going to listen.
Never mind all that stuff about Kent and the girl, Fales.
But I tell you, they came here. They only just left. They're looking for old man Morton.
Let them look. They'll never find him. Not till everything's finished. Do they suspect anything?
No, I don't think so.
Why did they come to you?
On account of the radium. Seems he mentioned it to...
Fool.
Collins, listen. Has he got it? Has he found out a new way of refining?
I told you I'd take care of that, didn't I? Well, I have. Fales, it's in the bag. If you can work it right from your end, we'll make a fortune. What about the trucks?
Loaded and ready to go. But listen, what about the mountain? I just got a report from the engineer. Unless there's more rain, it won't come down.
Don't worry. There'll be more rain. When's the best time?
Send the trucks out? Make it 10 o'clock tonight.
10 o'clock? Okay, Fales. At 10 o'clock, there'll be the biggest rainstorm you ever saw.
Collins, what's the scheme? How'll it work out?
Have those trucks at the right place on the road, and trust me for the rest. We'll block them off with the mountain and raid the whole lot of them. Okay, Fales, that's all.
Okay, Collins, remember, 10 o'clock tonight's the time.
The devils. That fellow Fales is working hand in glove with the group that's taken Morton. And Morton himself. I can't believe it. Yet I don't know.
Why, Clark Kent, honestly, there is something wrong with you. You look as if you'd seen a ghost.
Seen a ghost? Well, no, not exactly, Lois. I've just been thinking. I've been working things out.
Working what things out?
Things that are happening. Miss Lane, don't ask me how I know. Just take my word for it. There's a plot on to steal that radium ore and to wreck this whole settlement to make it look plausible this very night.
What? Mr. Kent, what? Well, how do you know? It can't be.
But it is. And I'll tell you something else, too. Your Uncle Horace, Dr. Morton, is right in the thick of it. Now then, let's figure out what to do.
Oh, Miss Lane, I don't know what to do. Where's Jimmy and Susie?
Now, Mrs. McNamara, everything's all right. Your husband's gone on ahead with the furniture.
The children, Miss Lane. I can't leave the children.
They'll be all right. They're on the bus, aren't they?
Well, they're on the bus, but I don't know. Oh, listen to it. That's the mountain. It's moving.
Nonsense. That's just thunder, Mrs. McNamara.
Lois, remember what I said. There's a storm coming up.
Don't bother me about that now. Go ahead, Mrs. McNamara. You get on that bus, too. It's the last one. Go on.
Oh, Miss Lane, it's a blessed angel you've been helping us like this. You come, too.
No, I'll be all right. We've got a car. Is everybody on? Go ahead, driver. Go on. Well, thank heavens we got them off. Whatever happens now, they won't be caught here.
Lois, Miss Lane, I just thought of something else.
Mr. Kent, it's no use. I just won't believe my Uncle Horace is mixed up with any gang of criminals. You can talk until you're blue in the face. But unless you've got something better to go on than a hunch, I'm not going to...
Now, look here. You admit he can control the weather. You told me that much yourself.
Why, no, but...
Well, then, you also know that he's with the gang. Now, what if the gang is making him do it? What if they plan to bring down the mountain and block those trucks, maybe tonight? Yes, and all those people on their buses, too, and the kids.
Clark, they wouldn't do that. They couldn't.
Well, they might. And if they were, what could we do about it?
Oh, it's too terrible. What could we do?
Lois, I've had an idea. If there is anything in this, if your uncle is back of all this rain, where would he be working from?
Well, how should I know?
Well, nobody knows, but we can guess. All his equipment is back up at the observatory, isn't it? Right on the mountain itself.
Oh, but Clark, he couldn't be there. They've had a guard up there ever since he disappeared.
Oh, I know, but guards can fall asleep, can't they? And anyway, we don't really know where his scientific stuff is or how he works it. It might be somewhere out in the woods.
But, Mr. Kent...
Even if the guard's right on the job, the place is locked and he's on the outside. What if there's a secret entrance? It's not impossible.
Well, there might be. Oh, I don't know. What do you think we ought to do?
What's the time?
Wait. 9:15.
They're pulling it off at 10.
What? What are you saying?
Nothing. Look here, Miss Lane. Are you game for something?
You know I am. What is it?
I want to go up to that observatory right now and look it over. You never can tell. We might find something.
Yes, but what if we don't?
Well, we're no worse off, are we? Come on. Back to the car and let's go. We can make it in half an hour, storm or no storm.
Thunder. There is a storm.
Yes, or else it's the mountain starting another slide. Come on. Here's the car.
Well, here we are back again. Find anything on your side?
Shh, quiet. I think I saw a light.
Did you? Where?
I'm not sure. Look here. I'm going to try and break in. Maybe I can pry open a window.
Do you think it's safe?
Well, that won't be if the guards catch us. You go back to the road and keep an eye out. Hurry.
All right. If I see anything, I'll either whistle or come back. Be careful, please.
There she goes. Good girl. Plenty of grit. But I don't want her around when it's time for Superman to act. Did I see something? I'll say I did. Got to get around the corner. There's a light in the cellar. I didn't notice that window before. It was hidden behind a bush. Here we are. Now, let's see. Great Scott. Collins is down there, the gang leader, with a gun. Yes, there he is, the devil, standing right back of Morton. Morton's working at his equipment. And there's the police guard tied up in a corner. Well, my friend, you won't be carrying your plans much further. I'll get down where you are, right through the wall, in one crash. Here goes. Out for the light. Don't use that gun, Collins. Don't do it. I warned you. All right, take it. Now then, where's that lamp? Oh, never mind. I can see all right. Dr. Morton. Dr. Morton.
What is it? What's happened?
Dr. Morton, it's me, Clark Kent. I guess there was an explosion. The whole wall went out. How are you? Are you hurt?
Collins. Watch out. Collins.
Oh, don't worry. He's out like a light.
Mr. Kent, Clark, what's happened? I heard the crash.
Lois, right down here. Down that hole. It's all right. Bring your flashlight.
Lois. Oh, thank heaven you come. Quick.
Uncle Horace, are you all right? Oh, Clark, what's happened?
They carried me off, made me work, made me create bad weather. Lois, they're criminals. And that man Collins, he's the head. Oh, but be quick. Don't wait.
Dr. Morton, what do you mean?
The final storm. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock tonight.
What?
Uncle Horace, it's 10 o'clock now.
Trucks loaded with radium. They're going to bring down the mountain. I called up a storm. It's coming.
Yes, not only the trucks, the buses, all the children. Oh, Uncle, stop it. Turn it back.
Dr. Morton, stop the storm.
I can't. It's gone too far. If you come 5 minutes sooner.
Listen, Clark, it's coming. It's here.
Dr. Morton, where is it going to happen? Where are they going to catch the trucks? Quick now, quick. Maybe I can head them off.
The Forest Hill Pass, beyond the refinery.
Forest Hill Pass.
But you can't stop them too late. The whole side of the cliff is loose. They'll block the trucks and steal everything.
Lois, you stay here. Watch your uncle. Untie Devlin there in the corner. Then have him tie up Collins.
Oh, Clark, hurry. Hurry, you may be in time. All those children.
I'll hurry all I can. Out the way I came in. There. Out. Out we go. Forest Hill Pass, eh? Superman against the mountain. Not much time. Got to hurry. Out and up. Faster. Faster.
Down the wind, faster than an airplane, Superman streaks toward the narrow cut known as Forest Hill Pass. Can he make it in time? Already the line of trucks creeps up the slope. Behind them, the swaying, rocking bus, brightly lighted. Eager boys and girls, knowing nothing of the treacherous mass of rock and earth poised on the heights above.
Now you keep quiet. Oh, I declare it's more than I can stand. Shut your noise, all of you. Oh, look where we are. Look out the windows. If it isn't Forest Hill Pass. Oh, children, we'll be safe out of here before we know it. Oh, look, it's starting to rain again.
There are the trucks, right in the pass. There's the school bus right behind them. Great heavens, look at that rain coming down in sheets. And there comes the mountain. It's moving. Got to get there. Down, down. Those men on the trucks, they've stopped. They're running away. Well, I can use those trucks myself. If I can stop that slide just for a minute, the bus can get through. Down, down. Oh, it's coming. If I can fling the trucks in the way, make a barrier. Too bad about the radium ore. I'll dump that. Maybe I can hold the mountain long enough for the buses to get by. Now. There goes one truck. And another. Maybe I can make it yet. Still coming down. And here's the bus with the children in it. Now. Quick, with another truck. There, that ought to do it. Hurry. It stopped for a second. Keep that thing going. Keep that bus going. You'll make it. Hurry. It made it. They're safe. The bus with the children got through. They're all right. They got through. Okay, Music Mountain, come ahead and do your worst. You can't hurt anybody now.
Another cup of tea?
No, thank you, Lois. I'm feeling much better now. But what about you, Mr. Kent?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Splendid attempt you made, Kent. I mean, to get down the mountain last night.
Well, as it turned out, I didn't have to warn them. The trucks were wrecked, but the children got through, and after all, that was the main thing.
It was very strange about the trucks, wasn't it? They looked as if someone had just picked them up and thrown them right at the mountain.
Quite so. Being considerate enough to dump them carefully first. How do you explain it, Kent?
Me? Gosh, I don't explain it. I can't. But what about you, Dr. Morton? What about the Morton system of weather control? Now, don't forget, Lois and I want a good long interview about that for next Sunday's paper. How about starting talking right now, eh?
No, I think not, Mr. Kent. I'm sorry, but I think not.
Why, Uncle Horace, what do you mean?
Lois, I've made up my mind. I think the weather is best left to nature. When we try to interfere with nature's way of doing things, we make only trouble.
But, Doctor, look here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kent. I realize I owe you much, but I owe humanity more. My secret is one that is better left unknown. The Morton system is dead, forgotten, destroyed. My story, I'm afraid, is one which will never be printed.
So ends the adventure of Dr. Horace Morton, the man who made the weather. Kent and Lois are disappointed that they will have no story for Editor White. But another assignment is close at hand, even more thrilling, more dramatic. Tune in next time and follow the story of Superman.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.